Number 3, God loves you because of what you can become. Because of your God-given potential. There's a young man, probably in his 30s now, named John, that lives here locally. He's a physical therapy assistant, and he works in one of the local healthcare facilities. His specialty is treating lymphedema, which is a condition where the tissues essentially blow up because the lymph system isn't working correctly. Several years ago, he and several other guys, I think including Bobby that year, were in a year-long mentoring program that I was leading. And one of the exercises that was assigned to the guys one month was to come up with some verbal presentations that they could make in public, in this case in front of their peers. Something like a 30-second commercial and a 15-minute speech and a couple other things. Well, John grumbled. He grumbled when he got the assignment. I'm sure he grumbled all month long, and he grumbled the day we got back together to present to each other. And his primary complaint was that he didn't see the connection between what he was doing and what he was being asked to do. He said, I'm a physical therapy assistant. I work with patients. I don't get up and make speeches. But he did it. Today, because of his expertise, because of his diligent study and preparation, I would like to say because of that 15-minute speech, but that's probably not the case. He's now speaking in front of hundreds and thousands of therapists a year, teaching them and instructing them on the modalities to treat lymphedema. When we were gathering together in that small group, he had no idea what kind of potential God had for him. But he continued to prepare in things that he knew were important to him. And one day, God began to expand his horizons. George and Mary Thompson. George was a builder, a contractor. Spent his whole adult life building buildings and houses. When he got to be 65, he thought, well, he said, I have accumulated enough. I think I'm going to retire. And he and Mary were very godly people, and they began to pray about God, what God wanted them to do next. Their idea was perhaps just to take it easy for a while. But God sent them to a small African country called Burundi to build buildings. And for the next 10 or 15 years, George was used by God to enhance the work of the kingdom in that small country. He had no idea. Katie's mother, I racked my brain last night and this morning trying to think of her name, and I can't remember. But it was Katie's mother. She played the organ in church until she was, I think, 82. And for years, every month, she would write cards to to the missionaries, encouraging them, telling them they were being prayed for, asking them how things were going. In her mid-80s, instead of expanding her horizons, God focused her efforts, put her flat on her back in bed for the last 2 years of her life. I would visit her and she would say to me, "I can't do anything but pray." Only heaven will disclose the lives that were changed and the circumstances that were changed because of the prayers of Katie's mother.